One of the three big desires that got me onto self improvement was the desire of having strong and powerful relationships, not just with men, but with women also. And so, as I was thinking to myself, how could I improve, my social intelligence? How could I actually become a better friend? I realized that there were numerous amounts of ways of how I can do it. First of all, I would need to fix my mouth. I would have to, start smiling a bit more, not like to a psychopathic level where I would literally like smile ear to ear. No, no, no. Just basically like a slight smirk on both ends of my mouth. Yeah, that would be quite nice. Also, having my eyes fully opened, like none of this half closed shit, where I would look like I'm not even focused at all and I'm about to fall asleep at any second. And then, of course, the exaggeration and the enthusiasm in my voice. I would have to fix that also, which I got done down fairly easily. I didn't really have to work on, the conversation topics that I would talk about since I was already pretty good at that. And plus, my speeches and deliveries have always been perfect and on the spot, especially if I was talking to the perfect person. Then, yeah, I had literally nothing else to work on except for that one crucial part. You see, when it comes to meeting new people and meeting the people that you already know, one thing is very important, and that is human touch. Yeah, because, yeah, this goes back tens of thousands of years ago, back when civilizations weren't even around. Human touch is one of the most important things when it comes to trust, when it comes to building stronger relationships, etc. So I started to think to myself, how could I incorporate this human touch to my daily conversations? Of course, with women, I always used to hug my mother, so that was pretty easy. My grandmother also, and my other aunties as well. So yeah, I would either just hug them, or just, clap, clap them, but not in that way that you're thinking, just, clap their hands. But with men, I was thinking to myself, how could I do it? Well, there were two ways that I could actually do it. Either a fist bump, or I would formally shake their hand. Hmm. So I decided that with my, male classmates and with whoever other people that I used to go to school with and my other friends in general that were my age, I would just fist bump them or just handshake them. It didn't matter at all whatsoever. And then with other men that I respect and that are, older than me and who are on the level of my dad, I would just handshake them. And so yeah, and where would be a better place to start other than my school? And so that's exactly what I started to do each and every single morning from like summer of 2023 onwards. I always just come into my class, I have a look around, whoever it is already in there. I go there, I fist bump them just to show them that I still care about them, even though I don't talk to them that often, but that's still fine. And then I just spend the rest of the day just sitting there. But yeah, this has made me a really better person in general and a more trustworthy one also. And yeah, the benefits that I saw from handshaking everyone around me and fist bumping them. Yeah, the results and yeah, the bonds have increased so much, bro. Like, you genuinely wouldn't know. And I never actually was lazy with this. I never truly thought to myself that I actually don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to fist bump that guy. No, no, no. I always went with it. And even if I truly didn't feel like it on some occasions, like walking that extra meter just to, fist bump him, I would always just do it. Like, even if it was so useless, but I would just do it for the free social experience. You understand, like in a video game, like when you take that difficult side quest. And so, the way that I would always do this, the way that I would overcome laziness, is to always approach it with small wins. That's right. Like, for example, getting out of bed when you wake up at 5 a.m. each and every single day. For example, You can ask yourself small questions and set smaller goals to defeat that larger one of getting out of bed and starting your morning routine. Just ask yourself first, can you open your eyes? Of course you can. Then, like 3 seconds later, you ask yourself, can you uncover yourself? You know, with the. And then, after like 5 seconds, also, you ask yourself, can you put your right foot off of the bed? Then, you ask if you can put your left foot, and then if you can stand, and boom, you just got out of bed. Nice. Now just do this for the rest of your life, and you will guarantee yourself a lifetime long discipline. Yeah, that's what is required to be a man in the modern age. No matter how comfortable the bed is, you always need to do this. And not just with getting out of bed, but also with any kind of skill. So, for example, when you go and, fist bump someone and you truly don't feel like it because you feel so you feel so unconfident, you also fear that you might embarrass yourself in front of everyone, but that's okay because even if you do, hey, at least you're the one benefiting from the situation. So, you ask yourself, can you approach them? Yes. Can you put your fist up? Yes. Did they give you it? Yes. Can you go away now? Yes. That's it. That's the entire challenge. Now, what happens if you don't do these things? Well, let's just say that, yeah, the things that follow afterwards are horrible. And yeah, it doesn't just, the consequences don't just lower your self esteem in general, they lower probably one of the most important skills in all of self improvement, which is discipline and self trust. That's right. Because you know that these things are some things that you need to do, you need to complete them, and yet you're not following your own word. Laziness metaphysically means in the Bible a stagnation of energy, or basically a lack of discipline. You know that in order to manifest your desired reality and to finally materialize it in your on our physical plane, in the reality that you can see in front of you, you need to also take physical action. Yeah, sure, you've been working on your mindsets, you've been shifting into that desired reality where you already are the best possible version of yourself that you can become in this life, but without physical action, you won't get there. I won't be able to be such a strong conversation opener now if I just never practiced, you know, failing that fist bump. Not failing in a way where I would basically not even give it in the first place, but basically picking the right occasion. So of course, like if one of our female classmates walk into our class and she like starts to undress herself, of course I'm not gonna, go there and while she's putting off, her clothes or whatever, I wouldn't, go there and try to, you know, clap her hands or whatever. Of course, I would just wait until she would like unpack herself, until she would put all of her clothes away, not in a sexual way, of course, you understand. And yeah, then I would clap her hands, right? So yeah, you need to develop your discipline. You need to start to take these smaller steps so that you can finally complete this larger goal. Because yeah, if you can discipline yourself, then how can you discipline the universe to materialize whatever you want in your life? Now, beware of this. There's a difference between being lazy and sacrificing something to be to get something stronger in advance. So like for example, let's say that your parents, for example, go out on like a holiday and they leave you behind in the house and they told you and they say to you that you need to spend the entire weekend at your grandma's place. Now, you have some important work to do for your online business and yeah, you just say to them, but of course, I'll spend some time at my grandma's house also like in the mornings and in the night and before I go to sleep of course. But during the midday, I will still come home and I'll do some work. That's not laziness that you don't want to improve your social intelligence with your grandmother, but that's you sacrificing some of that time that you could spend with her, doing the things that you love. So, of course, some of the times This won't be laziness, but you simply are just sacrificing something for the greater good of your authentic growth. Okay, so don't get this mixed up. Laziness is when you know the right thing that you should be doing, that your inner intuition tells you to do is the right thing to get into your desired reality, to finally materialize it, and you don't act upon it. That is laziness. And so you fix it with nothing else but just discipline. And then after you work so hard on yourself, and then you start to see the delayed results after so much hard work, then you will never want to stop for the rest of your life. And don't just take this from me. I am a person who has helped countless amounts of people in the past achieve their desired reality, get into the right state of mind, and get a stronger discipline, willpower, productivity, stoicism, resiliency. And guess what? They haven't even seen my timeless reader's mindsets yet, which is a collection of 24 unbreakable mindsets that, if applied to your day to day life, will guarantee success in any kind of life situation with any kind of life test. So go grab it right now. There's a discount over there. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. And remember, no one is better at being you